With February almost at an end, I hope you've been keeping track of all the goals you've set out for yourself to achieve. Understand, though, that even if you aren't where you want to be yet on ticking off your to-do list, only you have the power to make the changes you want to see. Get up and make the right choices. Your future self will thank you. Welcome to yet another viewing of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. It's a pleasure to have you join us.
Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 26, 2025. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has welcomed the latest Fitch ratings, which has affirmed Jamaica's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating, IDR, at BB-, with the outlook remaining positive.
Jamaica's BB- ratings reflect stronger governance than the peer median. What does that mean? That Jamaica's management is better than countries in its peer group. It says significant progress with debt reduction, a sound fiscal framework, and a strong political commitment to deliver large primary surpluses. That's the rating agency's review of Jamaica.
Fitch outlined that Jamaica's debt to gross domestic product GDP has fallen to a forecast of 70.8% in fiscal year 2024-2025 from a high of 135.3% of GDP in fiscal year 2012-2013. The positive outlook reflects Fitch's expectation of continued improvement in debt metrics and further strengthening of the policy framework over the next few years, including climate risk mitigants.
Rating agencies don't just look at our financial position. They are an aggregation of a large volume of information about a country. And they are usually very good at determining what is happening in a country.
The Prime Minister was addressing a diaspora town hall in Barbados on Friday, following his participation in the 48th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. Dr. Holness says the government intends to keep its foot firmly planted on fiscal discipline and good fiscal management while positioning Jamaica for growth.
The fiscal agenda it's good because you are using your revenues, your own resources, to treat with the needs of the people. But coming from Jamaica's position, where the unmet needs are so great, you need to find a way to expand your earned resources very quickly. Because what will happen if you don't do that is that the political pressure will get very overwhelming, and it will just destroy the fiscal sacrifice that has been made.
The government has allocated with immediate effect $40 million to facilitate the trucking of water in several parishes experiencing disruptions in supply due to meteorological drought conditions. The funds will be drawn from the $150 million previously approved by Cabinet for water distribution efforts. The affected parishes are Manchester, Westmoreland, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, Portland, and St. Thomas. Speaking at a post-cabinet press briefing this morning, Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, said the disbursement of funds would be managed through the respective municipalities.
The trucking program will be overseen by the municipalities. We'll be making those transfers through the Ministry of Local Government from MEGJC this week. This will allow members of Parliament and councillors to immediately respond to those most in need, and this is the first of many other steps.
He attributes the situation to changing weather patterns.
Minimum temperatures in January. We've seen significant increases in February, but it would be too early to report on that. But what this has triggered for the National Water Commission is not a national issue, not a national problem, but 23 of our systems are experiencing shortfalls in their water intake, meaning 5% of our water systems are now being regulated.
Despite the challenges, residents in the corporate area have not been affected by water restrictions. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is expanding its regional roadshow and job fair across the island. It's being done under the theme, Transforming Jamaica's Workforce for Greater Resilience and Sustainable Development. Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. gave the details at today's post-cabinet press briefing. He says the event aligns with the record low unemployment rate of 3.5% and seeks to further equip Jamaicans with the opportunity for employable skills development and social protection services.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security continues its commitment towards empowering Jamaica's workforce through these island-wide regional roadshows. The roadshow is aimed at enhancing public awareness on the key labor and employment issues.
Minister Charles Jr. says the roadshows are expected to attract over 500 physical and virtual attendees. Key features include a special focus on labor market inclusion, catering to youth, persons with disabilities, women, seniors, and pensioners.
We will also be inviting and receiving our colleagues from the U.S. Embassy who will join us to provide information on the adjustments as it relates to the U.S. Seasonal Employment Program that we can expect based on adjustments to their immigration policies, and also to provide any clarity for Jamaicans exploring employment opportunities abroad.
The roadshow was first held in Montego Bay and St. Anne, and a third staging in Manchester happened earlier today. Pregnant women are being urged to identify their risks for eclampsia early, join high-risk antenatal clinics, and closely monitor their blood pressure in order to act quickly at the first sign of trouble. The advice comes from Program Development Officer and Public Health Specialist in the Ministry of Health's Family Unit, Dr. Carol Lord. She was speaking at a JIS think tank. Preeclampsia is high blood pressure, which usually occurs around 20 weeks into a pregnancy. It is associated with a protein in the urine with or without swelling of the hands, feet, and face, while eclampsia is a severe form of preeclampsia that causes seizures and can be life-threatening. Dr. Lord explains that preeclampsia and eclampsia are among the leading causes of maternal and neonatal mortality and morbidity in recent years.
Once we can recognize the signs quickly and seek care can improve the lives of the babies and the mother. So the key to better outcomes lies in early detection, proper medical and community support.
Dr. Lord references the outcome of a research she led, which analyzed 788 medical records of mothers at public hospitals in the Southeast Regional Health Authority between 2015 and 2019.
The stillbirth rate was 71 per 1,000 births. 71 in every 1,000 births, compared to 6 per 1,000 births for persons who were normotensive. This is something that we have to stop.
And finally, Minister of Finance and the Public Service Favour Williams will open the budget debate on March 11. As Chief of the country's finance, her inaugural presentation is highly anticipated. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness will make his contribution on March 20. Meanwhile, opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, and leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, will speak on March 13 and 18, respectively. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
Today, we can report 2 consecutive years of reduction in major crimes and murders, with a significant reduction of almost 20% in murders for 2024. Between January 2022 and January 2025, we have reduced murders by 51%, and January 2025 had the lowest monthly murder count since September 2014. Our efforts have also resulted in the reduction of active gangs by 50%. We continue to increase firearm seizures and in more communities, we are experiencing less violence. We will realize our vision of Jamaica as the place of choice to live, work, do business, raise families, and retire in peace and prosperity.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Water is a basic need, one that should be accessible to all humans. And thankfully, that need was recognized and will be met for thousands of Jamaicans with the construction of the Rio Cobre treatment plant. Learn more next.
Today is a great day as we gather to break ground for this significant project, the Rio Cobre Water Supply System Upgrade. The project involves the design, build, finance, operate, maintain, and transfer of a 15 million imperial gallons daily water treatment plant. And the scope of the works entails the construction of an intake system inclusive of lift pumps, duty and backup pumps, the construction of a conveyance pipeline from river to treatment plant site, the construction of a 15 million gallon capacity treatment plant, and the interconnections to the NWC's distribution network. When the project is complete, we can expect improved water supply and reliability for St. Catherine and the KSA areas, better resilience in the water sector during periods of drought, and improved water supply to facilitate our continued development in the business and residential sectors.
The National Water Commission is constantly seeking new ways to improve and expand its services to the people of Jamaica. And while this project has been long in coming, maybe too long, this public-private partnership arrangement is making this possible and creating the mechanism and the infrastructure for this to go smoothly.
As this project, we've developed it under a unique approach. It's never been done in Jamaica before, whereby the private sector, represented by our partners, Panjam Group, APLI, and along with local and international financing institutions, Sagicor, IDB Invest, and Proparco, have pulled together their resources to finance the design and construction of a potable water treatment plant. The nature of this project, PPP, demonstrates a very close collaboration between public and private sector, whereby each party is assigned the risk it's best able to manage. So I really want to express my gratitude to both private and public shareholders for their continued support and joint collaboration in the development of this project. We believe that this project should be the cornerstone of a new economic model in Jamaica, whereby the government and the private sector, they work hand in hand in developing the country's infrastructure.
The construction of this project is estimated to be completed within 2 years, followed by a 23-year period of operation by the private partners, after which ownership of the plant will be transferred to the NWC. The PPP arrangement may also be renewed for an additional 5 years after the expiration of the initial 23 years. This plant will be the second largest in Jamaica. The project is expected to positively impact over 150,000 NWC customers in the Kingston and St. Andrew metropolitan area, in Portmore, the new parish, and Spanish Town. So if you took all the areas that will benefit, the overall number of beneficiaries would be about 600,000 Jamaicans by this project.
When completed and delivering water to the NWC network will contribute significantly to NWC's achieving its three of the four strategic objectives, and they are improving coverage, revenue and cash flow, increasing operational efficiency, and improving customer service.
This project is therefore one of many solutions being implemented across our island.
Reading is fundamental for everyone, but especially children. Now, this skill nurtures children's early communication and language skills, which sets a foundation for lifelong personal and academic success. Our next feature shares more.
What are you doing, young man? Didn't I tell you to go do your homework? Get up and go now.
If no one could read, I wouldn't have to do any homework.
There was no teachers or schools. Because no one could ever read, everything was different. Everyone was trying to figure out what was going on. Only little nosy Supposy knew exactly what was wrong. They asked the maybe family that lived next door, but they couldn't really tell. No one knew for sure. And surprisingly, it was even a mystery for the definitely family. Everyone tried to remember, but it was no good. Because no one could ever read, they forgot all they had learned from books. It is The Adventures of Nosy Supposy, and it is to be a series. The first one is Suppose No One Could Read. So what has happened is that because of how my sons were, they asked a lot of questions all the time. My mom used to say a thing to me, suppose your nose was a doorpost where you put the inches. So I came up with the whole nosy thing out of that, them being a little curious all the time. So I said, and then they would come with the supposing. But mommy, suppose. So I said, don't be a little nosy supposy. So the name came out of that, really. So I just decided to go with The Adventures so that I could teach little things, little lessons out of life lessons, out of Nosy Supposy's adventures. And one point that I noted recently that really helps for parents and children to bond when we no longer read to our children. And it is so important that we do, because it creates that time of bonding between parent and child that is so valuable. And we can't say enough how valuable it is.
Shafdan, wake up. You did your homework yet? Get up, get the book, let us go.
Can be little things. Talk to them in story form. You know, bring up things that will kind of stimulate them wanting to know more. Show them books with pictures too, because we have to know that it is important for them to have pictures to look at, bright colors that will stimulate their mind and their eyes and fascinate them.
In a world where the joy of reading can open countless doors, The Adventures of Nosy Supposy serves as a reminder of the profound impact literacy can have on our lives, and the importance of nurturing a love for reading in the next generation.
Music speaks to the soul, and these three dancehall acts have been on the scene for quite some time, buzzing up a storm. At last year's National Honors and Awards ceremony, they were honored by their country. Join us now as we look back at the memorable moments.
Mr. Glendon Orville, Admiral Bailey, Mr. Moses Anthony Beanie Man Davis.
Mr. Rodney Basil Bounty Killer Prize for contribution to the development of Jamaican music, dance hall.
The Order of Distinction, OD, is conferred upon any citizen of Jamaica who has achieved eminent international distinction in the field of science, the arts, literature, or any other endeavor. As musical legend, Bob Marley immortalized in song, "One good thing about music, when it hits, you feel no pain." And when it comes to dancehall music, we can agree that despite the artist's lyrical whip, the essence of his or her contribution to the musical genre is one of pleasure, not pain.
Did the move? Did the move? Come crowd of people, come get in on the road. Simma, who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girls them sugar. Them have the fierce, and them have the figure. Remind me of the Benz, the Lexus and the Beamer.
Making music that not just Jamaicans know and love, but the world too, inspiring many and helping to shape the brand that is Jamaica. And when the citizens and leaders recognize this contribution, the feeling is without doubt overwhelming.
This is a big recognition. This is not just a little man will come and tell us, boy, yeah, man, you're the baddest DJ, you know. So obviously, yes, it makes me feel good to know that all the years of the hard work that has been put in, you know, you're finally being recognized.
Well, I'm elated and I'm excited and I feel humbled and honored. It's a great feeling. They always say a king never crowned in his country. What do you call this now? I'm being honored by my own countrymen. This is great.
Well, it's a great feelings because, you know, for being Jamaica, doing this music for 3/4 of my life, because I started me at 5, so I'm 50 now. So yeah, me actually do music for 46 years, to be honest. And to be recognized by your government, you know, and by your Prime Minister, and to give it to you by the Governor General, it's kind of a different feeling.
From the grassroots levels of society, these men have built a solid foundation on which to stand with their musical talents and achieve the pinnacle of success. And now their country is saying, "We see you. Job well done."
Brendan Bailey has made significant contributions to the local entertainment industry, and he's been doing so for the past 40 years. He has held the enviable position of having the number 1, 2, and 3 songs on the local charts in 1987, while having 5 others at the time on the top 10 chart. Only the second artist in Jamaica to achieve that feat. Dancehall artist Rodney Bounty Killer Price is one of the most revered figures in dancehall. He's known for his distinctive style characterized by incisive lyrics. Moses Beanie Man Davis shot to stardom when he won the local Tasty Talent competition at the tender age of 8 years old. He has since become a legendary dancehall Grammy Award-winning artist.
Beanie Man's gratitude is tremendous, as he remembers there was a snag in his career where he could have faded into obscurity and the world would have been none the wiser. That moment, Nelson Mandela's visit to Jamaica. The revered statesman was just freed and the world was looking on. The local audience who turned out to see the respected leader were mostly not in the mood for the young artist's shenanigans.
Hey, green, I'm over there, so
It was a make or break moment for the then rising star.
A week before that, I come from lockup and I went to Godfather's nightclub and did the same song. Hey, green, I'm over there, so, and mash up the place. But I get realized now, the whole lot of people them run behind Mandela from morning and then here come say, hey, green, I'm over there. So, and then I show you what points. Yeah, but why is that the most memorable in my career? Because that is where I get the motivation from to become the artist that I am today.
His persistence and the ability to brush off negativity paid off.
If there's an artist that I would work with again, it would be Beanie Man. Because of his personality. He was never abusive of his management. He was somebody who he listened.
The appointed king of the genre points to another obstacle or opportunity. The decades-running lyrical battle between Beanie Man and Bounty Killer is dancehall legend. Thankfully today, they are both older and wiser.
Bounty Killer becomes my brother right now.
Bailey too recognizes the work of these two, and though his contribution to the music is also immense, he has a remarkable love for what the Sweetener and the Governor has done.
They put in a lot of work consistently, yeah, for a long period of time. Yeah, I think they are one of the two dancehall DJ artists that has maintained such a consistency for so long.
Admiral Bailey, as he says, he's an entertainer.
Big belly man, big belly man, big belly man, them call me big belly man.
What I can remember is that from the very first time I encountered him, I was convinced that he was an exceptional talent.
A word from the wise to those upcoming.
So keep on working and the work will speak.
And a word for the government and the organizers of the National Honors and Awards.
I'm working towards my OJ. So, yeah, I don't mean I really choose that. You know, Trenchtown come like Mecca for music. When you talk about jazz and blues, ska, rocksteady, reggae music, is the birthplace for it right here.
Trenchtown is the cradle for Jamaican music, you know. Trenchtown. Because most of the singers come out of Trenchtown, you know.
Born from the streets of Trenchtown, reggae emerged as the voice of the people, a rhythm of resilience, unity, and pride.
It told our stories, carried our struggles, and shared our triumphs with the world.
Reggae is more than music. It is our soul, our identity, our legacy.
From the elders who paved the way to the youth shaping its future, reggae beats on in every Jamaican heart.
There is a land of pure beauty where blessing awaits for us all. And if your heart is clean, I know you will redeem in the land of the black, gold, and green.
Reggae is the heart of Jamaica. Protect it, preserve it, celebrate it.
We're at the end of today's show, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for another lineup geared towards providing you with information on the government's policies and initiatives for building a better Jamaica. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to rewatch this show or to catch up on the others we have on the site. I'm Theodore Henry, telling you thanks for watching from our production team here at the JIS.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.